Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Guru Deva Jaya Guru Deva Guru Deva Jaya Guru Deva Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Pancha Tattva Jaya Pancha Tattva Pancha Tattva Jaya Pancha Tattva Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol जय श्रीला गुरु महाराज की जय जगत गुरु श्रीला प्रभुपाद की जय निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल हरे कृष्ण
Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्ण माता जी
Wish you all a happy Damodar month. In this beautiful Kartik month, we have started excellent scripture. Hare Krishna. Oh.
Hare Krishna.
Wish you all a happy Damodar month. In this beautiful. Okay, so that is echo from our streaming in YouTube. Okay, so we are going into the scripture really. Only 11 text with the preface, and yesterday we just read the preface. So I'll just give an overview of what is there in the preface. Already you people discussed the salient points. Just a second. Okay. Okay. So this is your nectar of instruction, Upadesa Amrita. So instruction means Upadesa, Amrita is nectar. So this is given by Srila Rupa Goswami. And how did Srila Rupa Goswami get it? We already discussed yesterday. Lord Chaitanya gave this instruction to Rupa Goswami at Dasa Aswamedha Ghat in Prayaga. And Rupa Goswami wrote it as a book called Sri Upadesamrita. This book is written in Vrindavan, but the instruction was given by Lord Chaitanya in the bank of river Ganges in Dasaswamedha Ghat at Prayaga. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was going towards Vrindavan, at that time Rupa Goswami, actually Rupa and Sanatana escaped from Nawab Hussain Shah's governmental positions. They were very top position they were in. They both were brothers, and Prime Minister and Finance Minister. Both are very top positions, and they escaped from these positions. And Sanatana Goswami was later jailed. Rupa Goswami, initially younger brother, he escaped first. After that, Sanatana Goswami was demanded to come back to job, where he refused and he was arrested by Nawab Hussain Shah, and with various pastimes, he actually escaped out of it, and very, very austerely he ran towards Lord Chaitanya. So when Lord Chaitanya returned back from Vrindavan, at that time, Sanatana Goswami met him in Varanasi. Okay, so these three places, Gaya, Varanasi, Prayag, are in the same line of Ganges. So the Ganga is flowing from Himalayas, and first it comes to Prayag, and then it comes to Varanasi or Kasi, and then it goes to Gaya, and further it flows towards West Bengal. And in Bengal, it flows from north to south. It comes from west and then north to south, and then joins the ocean. So this is the flow of Ganges. So here Lord Chaitanya first, Rupa Goswami is instructing at Prayaga. Another name for Prayaga is also Allahabad. And the speciality of this place, Prayag, where Kumbh Mela is held even recently in this year, it was very, very famous, is because Ganga, Yamuna and Saraswati, the three rivers are joining. The Sanskrit name for river is Veni. So it's called Triveni Sangam. Sangam means association or meeting. So the three Venis, the Krishna is called Veni Madhava. So there is a Bindu Madhava temple and there is a Veni Madhava temple. And in Prayaga, Allahabad, there is Veni Madhava temple. And in Varanasi or Kasi, there is Bindu Madhava temple. Or Chaitanya went to both the places, did amazing kirtan. Every day he used to go for darshan, Madhava temples in these two places. And in the bank of river Ganges, very, very auspicious places. And Srila Prabhupada, he had his own pharmacy factory. He was creating that headache bombs. We used to put in the head, no, that ointments or a balm. We say that the headache bombs, cold bombs, like Vicks. We are having Amritanjan like that. Axe oil like that. He was having also, like we have Saridon, which is for headache and all. So he had a pharmaceutical company, a small factory. He was supplying all over India. Um, Abhay Charan De, Abhay Babu, he was called. And he was, so that is also speciality of Prayag. And he called his pharmacy as Prayag Pharmacy, the name of the pharmacy. Later, the pharmacy, when he took sannyas and things like that, before taking sannyas, he had the Prayag pharmacy was looted and the staffs were not cooperative. By Lord Krishna's arrangement, later it closed. But earlier, he was quite a successful businessman. So this is another note about Prayag. Then Rupa Goswami, he heard in Prayag, and then he went back to Vrindavan, and with the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Lord Chaitanya and Rupa Goswami were mentioned together in Vrindavan, where even though Rupa Goswami is basically from Ramkeli, which is north of Bengal, he escaped out of Nawab Hussain Shah. He met Lord Chaitanya in Prayaga, and then he went to Vrindavan. Then Lord Chaitanya returned back from Vrindavan. Lord Chaitanya didn't stay in Vrindavan, whereas Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, everybody stayed in main Vrindavan. Whereas Lord Chaitanya stayed in Mathura and visited Vrindavan. He never stayed overnight in Vrindavan. So this is one special information. When we go to Chaitanya Charitamrita, Chaitanya Bhagavat and all, we'll have a clear idea. Especially Chaitanya Charitamrita given by Srila Prabhupada. If we read the Lord Chaitanya's visiting Vrindavan, then we will see that he didn't stay inside. He used to go to Vrindavan every day morning, walking, and he used to sit under a particular tree. And then, of course, he saw the 12 forest of Vrindavan, everything. But he was positioned in Mathura. There was a disciple of Madhavendra Puri. So that was very special and very old man. So Lord Chaitanya got the association of him. Even though he is not from a Brahminical family, Lord Chaitanya stayed in his house, and he was having only one servant with him, and that servant cooked for him. A Brahmana servant was accompanying Lord Chaitanya, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told no senior devotee should come. Send me some simple person, so a very simple Brahmana. He just witnessed all the pastimes and he told certain pastimes. Like Jarikanta, where the animals were dancing and all those things were actually told by that person, that devotee. Bhatta. His name is Bhattacharya. I forgot the name. Okay, so this is Upadesamrita. So you should know the history where from it is coming. Mainly people think that Rupa Goswami just wrote the Upadesamrita for the devotees. Actually, it was not like that. Everything is through parampara. We should understand that nothing exists without the parampara. So people think that suddenly some devotee become empowered and he is creating something. Not like that. Rupa Goswami, he was a prime minister or whatever prime minister of Nawab Hussain Shah. And he, of course, they were reading Bhagavatam. But generally, when somebody creates something on their own without the either the instruction or the blessing of spiritual master, it will end up in a chaos. Like the example is, it was spread very widely by Vyasadeva, the anti-Vedic literature. But Kali Yuga, forthcoming Kali Yuga had difficulty. People cannot read so much and all that. And when Narada Muni came, then Bhagavatam was presented. So here also we should understand that Rupa Goswami wrote Upadesamrita on the order of Lord Chaitanya and also the content, the instructions, but the compilation in a very simple manner, easy manner, and all these examples, all these were given by Rupa Goswami because Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu chose the eligible candidate, like Srila Prabhupada chose Guru Maharaj, Jayapataka Swami Guru Maharaj, in order to hand over Mayapur. Mayapur Dham. Same way, Gopal Krishna Maharaj, he was asked to take care of Delhi, and Delhi, the very, very big VIPs, and and Gopal Krishna Maharaj, he came from a Grahastha background, and he was an excellent, a communicator and a public relation person. And also very good. He book distribution, of course, number one book distribution after Mayapur and Tirupati. I think Delhi is the biggest book distribution place. So like this, there are empowerment. The spiritual master knows that who is capable. When the sincere servant goes and serves, the spiritual master very carefully gives instructions based on the capacity of the disciple. Till the disciple matures, he should not hurry up or prematurely approach the spiritual master, give me instruction, give me instruction. It will voluntarily come from the spiritual master and it has to be accepted. So this is then that further activity will manifest. Like that, Rupa Goswami, he didn't know anything. He just came and surrendered to Lord Chaitanya. That's all. He ran and came to Lord Chaitanya. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told there is no scientific explanation of devotional service. Generally, devotional service is considered a sentiment, especially for women and children, and it's a sweet process. It is like, it doesn't not very potent, and mostly it is taken like a sahajiya. Sahaja means taking very casually. So sahajiya means taking devotional service, which is very having really depth in it, very casually as a mental sentiment, considering ourselves a body before even coming out of bodily concept, just within the bodily concept, exhibiting devotion is considered sahajiya. So Lord Chaitanya was very specific that it has to be projected as a science. The bhakti has to be projected as a science. So he saw very eligible candidate. They were prime minister, finance minister. See the position they held. And of course, they were not just in the ministerial post out of managerial abilities. They had all Brahminical qualities, Vaishnava qualities. They were reading Bhagavatam. They were from a very wonderful Bengali families, Gaudiya Vaishnava families. So all these things put together, they knew so many languages. They were very, very smart boys. So Lord Chaitanya handed over this task. Each one of the Goswamis, he handed over specific task. For Rupa Goswami, the writing of the scriptures were the primary and presenting it in a very scientific way, the science of devotional service. So the devotion or the bhakti generally is considered like a sentiment. So in India especially, we can see very crazy activities in the name of bhakti. People dance crazily with the hot pots in their hand. In South India, if you come, you can see for Parvati Devi, they say Parvati Bhakti like that. And they put some, a small, they poke their tongue. like of course, they have their own way of showing things. It's not very sattvic. That is different to demigods and all. But otherwise, also, even devotion to Krishna was considered too sentimental, and it was not appreciated by learned people. It was not appreciated by men. They said that the women in the house, they will go around Tulsi, the women in the house, they will do some things like that. But now when we see, after Lord Chaitanya instructed to Rupa Goswami and the book came and the Acharya Parampara and then Srila Prabhupada translated into English, now we see that even men, women, everybody goes around Tulsi. When we come to ISKCON, we are seeing this. So this is a great contribution of presenting it in a very eloquent manner. So that is the task which was given to Rupa Goswami. Now going to these verses, let us see. As I told you, there are totally 11 verses. We can divide it into three sections. Relevant. Actually, it progresses from a very, very simple non-devotee having, they cannot control the senses. What is the first thing when a neophyte comes to ISKCON or anybody whom we preach? The first thing he asks, how to control the mind, how to control the senses. This is the first thing, because they feel that they can understand that the spirituality cannot be picked up without a sense control, right? So this is their primary. They cannot think of Krishna, they cannot think of service, they cannot think of anything other than, oh, I'm not pure, my senses are uncontrolled. So their overall idea is to control their senses. But the irony of things is sometimes the same neophyte who is in that position learned certain techniques of controlling the senses, which the other yoga processes, other than bhakti, they have separate methodology to purify their senses apart from their original process. For example, the jnana yoga is there. So in that, reading books, analyzing scriptures, Vedanta Sutra, all these things are there. The process itself is different for progressing in transcendental. And to control the senses, they have other methods like withdrawing the senses, eating without salt, eating very less quantity. In this way, they control each of the senses is controlled forcefully. A kind of forcefulness is there, not naturally. But there is some separate process for doing it, because transcendence, dedication to any transcendental activity, let it be dhyana yoga, ashtanga siddhi yoga. Ashtanga siddhi yoga has its own way of controlling the senses and the mind, and then jnana yoga. So everything has a separate process. So how does this happen? And this is the basic process which we need to have in order to progress in Krishna consciousness and also to bring others into Krishna consciousness. So Rupa Goswami addresses first the controlling of senses. The end is not controlling the senses. Sometimes the transcendental processes are considered, aimed at controlling the senses. Some yogi or jnani will become very famous. They will give speeches, and people are so carried away that he is bringing a regulated life, regulated lifestyle, or regulating their senses. Just the entire aim or the end result of their teaching is nothing but controlling the senses. This is the comedy that how can that be? And okay, you control the senses, and then what? Your senses are going to be burnt or buried when you die. So it is a temporary material body, and perfecting the temporary material body cannot be a spiritual activity. So this big yogis who are very famous, in fact, they are internationally famous. But the comedy of things is their end result is why people throb there is just, I just want to regulate my senses, regulate my lifestyle, and just a good lifestyle. For what? Where are you heading? You're heading towards death. So anyway, heading towards death. So what is the process? So this controlling of the six the senses has to be taken into further steps. So Rupa Goswami puts it as the first step. For a totally a non-devotee or a non-transcendental person who's completely absorbed in sense gratification, what are all the flaws he will have? And controlling of that is the primary aspect. And Prabhupada gives based on Rupa Goswami's teachings only, and also from Bhagavad Gita Bhagavatam. He's giving an excellent purport in which the exact activities of how to control these senses by the teachings of Rupa Goswami is explained. Amazing purports which will reveal excellent. So there are 6 urges of the senses, and this 6 urges has to be controlled. And 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, you will see in that one is 1 to 5. The first 5 slokas talks first 6 urges of the senses and 6 unfavorable activities which has to be avoided. And there are 6 favorable activities which has to be embraced. And then there are 6 loving exchanges with devotees, association. People talk so much about association, association. What exactly is association? How do I associate? So 6 loving exchanges, how do I do with devotees? And then 3 levels of advancement and 3 levels of association. I mean, respective association. So totally 3 levels of advancement and association. There are 3 levels of devotees. Already we saw this in Ishopanishad. We saw that Kanishtadhikari, Madhyamadhikari, Uttamadhikari. There are levels of devotees. Not all the devotees are same. So that is a Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comparison Bhaktivinoda Thakur is writing, and that is given in teachings of Lord Chaitanya by Srila Prabhupada, that there are 3 levels of advancement. People have, we have to discriminate from gold from silver and silver from bronze. No, sometimes we get the medals, bronze medal, silver medal, gold medal, like that. So there are, of course, they are all metals, and there is a difference in these metals. So 3 levels of advancement, and for each of these advancement, there is association. How do you associate with this, each of these devotees? So that is 6, totally 6. So you can remember the 6, 6, 6 of it. And then the 6 to 8 verse. Okay, so these are all beautiful instructions. And when we follow these instructions, we advance. So when we advance, certain activities has to be done. Apart from regulating or lifestyle. So this is about lifestyle, controlling the 6 urges, avoiding 6 unfavorable activities, accepting 6 favorable activities, and loving exchange with devotees, and how to associate with these devotees. What are all the various levels of devotees? How do I associate with them? So to this fourth verse and fourth and fifth text talk about devotee association, but in 2 different levels. One is about level of advancement and association. Another is what kind of dealings we generally have with our peer devotee members. And then 6 to 8 talks about associating with pure devotee. In this 3 level of advancement, the top level Uttamadhikari, or the top level of devotees, pure devotees. How do we associate with such pure devotees? The second is taste the taste development in chanting. So of course, everybody starts with chanting. Only when somebody chants, we call him a devotee at all. When somebody is not chanting, it's not devotee at all. Any emotion they show, any other process they do, that is not considered by Lord Chaitanya as devotee. Lord Chaitanya gives the definition of who is a devotee. One who chants even one time Hare Krishna Mahamantra is a devotee. But the better, the little higher, but still they were not able to understand. So the devotees again next year asked Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is a Vaishnava, who is a devotee? Sometimes the word Vaishnava is misinterpreted. We say, but who is Vaishnava? Very easy to rhyme, and synonyms are there. So they say, those who worship Vishnu are Vaishnavas. Because Vash is coming. So like that. So Lord Chaitanya is very nicely giving that one who chants continuously, he is considered a devotee. And then a specific number of rounds consistently, so he is a devotee. And again next year when they asked, one who makes others chant Hare Krishna, when somebody see another person and they chant Hare Krishna, and he is a devotee. Like this, every definition of a devotee was given based on only chanting and no other aspects. So the primary quality is at least they should chant one round. Starting from that, we can call them a devotee, or at least they come to the temple, they chant at least one round in a week with us in Bhakti Vriksha, or in Sunday feast, after the Sunday feast lecture, there is a one round of Hare Krishna Mahamantra chanting. If they start coming regularly on Sundays and they start chanting, so we know that. So the basic criteria is chanting to call somebody a devotee. And how this chanting can be increased? How will it increase? Maybe somebody is chanting one round. How will they go to 16 rounds? How will they go to 4 rounds, 8 rounds, and 16 rounds? So that is taste development in chanting that is given. And method to attain, but everything is very defined process. Very sweet, clear, simple, and defined process. That's why it's one of the best books for a devotee. It's like a handbook for a devotee. And the next verse talks about a method to attain Vrajabhumi. So first is association with the pure devotee, and then when we associate with pure devotee, how do we associate? Should we see him? Second is the taste. When we associate with pure devotee, all he gives us is chanting. If you take a spiritual master, what does he give? He's just giving initiation. The primary aspect is initiation. Sometimes people undermine chanting. They say that, oh, you're not well-behaved devotee. You are not very nicely behaving with me. With other devotees, you're not sweetly talking. What is the use of all your chanting? See that other person. He's not chanting so much. He's chanting one round only, he's chanting, but he's behaving well with others like this. So they just judge. But the judgment is not the relationship between a jiva and a jiva. Here the process is how to develop the relationship between jiva and Ishvara, which has been lost for millions and millions of lifetimes. So staying in the good books of other people is the secondary agenda. It may be one of the agenda that we should be well behaved with other devotees. But the primary thing which we have lost for millions of lifetimes is the association with Krishna, association with transcendence, association with devotional service. So that takes the priority because that is the one which we have lost totally. Somehow we have managed to live among people in this world. Somehow or other, our parents have taught us, and we are able to go to school, we are able to mix with people, other people, we are able to walk on the road, we are able to drive vehicles where other thousands and thousands of vehicles are driving, and we are able to go for a job, and we are able to manage with some 100 people, 50 people, whomever, 5 people whom we are working with for many years, and we are able to sustain. So that relationship to an extent is in a platform where it is there. Of course, we should be very careful while dealing with devotees that not to offend them. So that is the primary thing. Offense is very dangerous. Other than that, general dealings need not be given too much importance because we are camping in the material world, but we are supposed to go to the spiritual world. So this is a temporary camp. So there is a relationship basically has to be maintained, but that is not the overall idea. Sometimes we see that devotees come and saying that, oh, the chanting, what you will do with chanting? When you have not developed very good qualities of behavior with others. Like that casually they comment. So chanting, what will happen? We will see here. Taste of development in chanting. Association with pure devotee will end up with their taste and development. Taste will arise. But what is the method to develop the taste is many people doesn't understand. Even within the congregation of devotees or in the institution, they are totally bewildered that how the taste for development in chanting happens. So the science, so these are all the science which is given by science of devotion is very, very simple, but not easily available. Not easily available. Everybody doesn't understand because it's very simple. So that is the second thing. Everybody is looking for taste in chanting. So let us see the technique so that is the 7th verse. And the 8th verse, who want to record it? Somebody want to record it? Okay.
Yes, Mataji, if we will record, then
Okay,
it will.
I will record it. It's already in YouTube. Still, I'm recording. Okay. Okay. So the taste for development in chanting. Then method to attain Vrajabhumi. See, where does chanting take you to? Why is chanting is given so much importance? Why chanting stands primary? Chanting of the holy name stands primary. And where it can take you to? So sometimes people also think that by self-endeavor and self-confidence in Krishna consciousness, that their progress will happen quickly. Or if somebody is not intent, they don't have very crazy intent, or the internal consciousness, internally he is thinking like that. We have many conditioning. So even if somebody is mechanically doing it, still the Andaranga Shakti, which is coming from the chanting and the other devotional processes, very much nourish someone. And with the help of the internal potency, of course, we have to cooperate. If somebody is giving a hand, we should also give the hand. If somebody is picking up from a dark well, we have fallen down, somebody is giving a hand, then we have to catch. So, but as a Tatastha Shakti or the marginal energy, what we have, we are prone. We are prone to be in the matter or in the spirit. Because we associated, when reading the Bhagavad Gita, we saw that in the third chapter, we saw that we had prema, it became kama. How the prema became kama, that science is explained in the third chapter of Bhagavad Gita, where we associated with matter. So we are Tatastha Shakti or marginal energy, and we have the tendency to get into the matter even though we are spiritual. And we can also get into spiritual if we want to. It's not all by our want. How did we fall into the material? By association with matter. Similarly, by association with spiritual, association with Bhakti, Andaranga Shakti, we get into Andaranga Shakti. So this entire bhakti process which we are following, all these are the special gift which is given by the internal potency. Despite we are living in the material body, which is created by Bahiranga Shakti or external energy within the material world, still the mercy is flowing from the spiritual world in the form of various sweet processes of devotional service. And by catching hold or associating with the internal energies, these processes, especially chanting, which is gift, great, Golokera Premadana Harinama Sankirtana. So Golokera Premadana, it is not available in the material world. Actually, material world is completely forgetfulness of Krishna. Whereas spiritual world is completely Krishna conscious. Then how does we have these processes? These are given by acharyas, and they bring the Andaranga Shakti into the material world as a part of mercy. This is called great mercy from spiritual world is flowing. We say that Radharani is very merciful. Like this, we use the word mercy. So what does that exactly mean? Is totally unavailable. For example, you're in a total desert, and if somebody is bringing you water, okay, one bottle of water. No, they are bringing tank and tank of waters, and they keep supplying it free. So a person who has been in thirsty for many, many days, and he was about to die, and when this water is supplied, not just to quench the thirst, but to nourish him, so much so that he will be able to supply water to others. He will be able to travel back where the water is getting supplied from. Now he is already about to die, like that. Then the spirit soul, when it has come here, it is like a spark, a fire which is about to extinguish. Then the great mercy of Acharya. So we sing that Samsara Dava Analita Loka Pranaya Karunya Ganaganatvam Praptasya Kalam. So what does spiritual master's mercy flow as a rain? Like where the samsara, the material existence is like a forest fire, and it is extinguished by this. So see this chanting and other processes of devotional service, chanting followed by other processes, but primary is chanting. Atha Sri Krishna Nama Adi Na Bhavet Grahyam Indriyaha. So Krishna Nama Adi. Means starting with Krishna's name. Tongue is the primary, and that chanting is the primary. Prasadam also comes second only. So chanting is primary. Any name of Krishna to start with, Krishna, Rama, Govinda, like this. And why India is considered Krishna, a little more religious than, not a little more, lot more than other places, because here the holy name exists, whereas in other places holy name doesn't exist. Of course, Guru Maharaj was giving beautiful examples how in other languages also holy name is existing. Me, Tai, like this, go and go, and Govinda, he said, what is that? Go, very nice, he told. One more is like,
Go wind.
Go wind. He said that, oh wind, you go. So while teaching English in other language, we can say, go wind, like this. Go wind, go wind, go wind, go wind, go wind, go wind, like that. Very nice. In Sri Lankan language, Hari Hari means okay. Okay, all right. They said Hari Hari, like that. Like this in some language. In English, we have no hurry up. Say hurry up. So in this way.
My Radhe in Russian.
Guru Maharaj said, my Radhe.
Just said 2 days back.
In this way, so that is called Namabash. But of course, conscious chanting has a lot more effect, and even unconscious chanting. But it should start with chanting. After that, other processes. If they eat prasadam, if sometime you ask someone, how did you come to Krishna consciousness? I liked the prasadam I came. Of course, true, but you continued because you started chanting. So that is the speciality. You continued. Otherwise, you would have eaten prasadam, gone. That's all. Sukriti. So chanting, if you do, then that is very, very powerful process. And we method to attain Vrajabhumi. How do we attain Vrajabhumi? From this devotional service chanting and further. So this is a separate section. And then the last 9 to 11 section, we'll see the gradation of spiritual destinations. What are all the various destinations which are available in spiritual, and which is the highest, and gradation of spiritual practices. What are all the various practices and which is the highest practice, and what is the method to attain Krishna Prema? Easy method, which is given by Rupa Goswami. Easy method to attain Krishna Prema. So very sweet literature. And let us preface already we saw yesterday. So I would like to give a quick recap on the preface, and I would like you to read the first text and come so that we can have some nice discussion. So I want you, as much as possible, you read the purport. Purport is a little bigger only for the first verse. Other verses purports are very reasonable, 3 pages, like that. It's very, very small book. The scripture book, the smallest of scripture book in ISKCON is Upadeshamrita. Like we have Ishobhanesha, we had 18 verses, 19 verses, and including the invocation and all. So that is second smallest. Of course, we have other Brahma Samhita and all. That is a part of Brahma Samhita. But still the smallest, only exactly 11 text and very crisp and clear, taking a person from uncontrolled senses to attaining Krishna Prema. You see the text 1. What is the text 1? Controlling the 6 urges of the senses. And what is the 11th text? The method to attain Krishna Prema. See this gradation. How wonderful is this? How simply something can be put forth. Very profound, very simple. The more profound it is, the more profound it is, more simpler it is. Krishna is very easily approachable, whereas very complicated persons in this material world, you have to ask so many permissions, this, that, and at last you can't meet him like this. The more complicated it becomes. But the very, very valuable things are freely given. That is a magnanimity of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Wherever there is a great demand and it is not availability, and supply and demand is very complicated. You understand that it's not of a great value. Whereas the Krishna consciousness is easily available. Sometimes we may take it very cheap or lightweight, but actually it's the most powerful. And that is the purpose why we are here in this material world. So this is the crux of the book, Upadesamrita. So remember that the first 6 is controlling the 6 senses, and the second 6 is what activities we should avoid, and third is what we should activities we should accept. So Rupa Goswami is telling, accept favorable situations, activities, reject unfavorable activities. First, control the senses by the particular process of devotion. Not simply control the senses like what they tell in other yogic process, so complicated, control like this. That is like a foolishness. Like stopping a sense from acting is not controlling. Having a proper regulations is called controlling, and using it in the right way is called controlling. There are two things: using it in the right way and regulating. These are the way you control anything. Any fan, I gave an example of fan yesterday, that if there is a regulator and you're using it in the right way to control the speed of the fan. In winter season, you may be putting it to 1 or 2, and then in summer season, you may keep it to 5 or 6. So that's a regulation. That is regulating, and then using it, that is controlling. So controlling the 6 urges of senses, and then rejecting 6 unfavorable activities, and accepting 6 favorable activities, and doing 6 kind of loving exchanges with devotees, and understanding 3 levels of devotees, and associating in 3 different ways. Not you associate in the same way with everybody. You associate however they mix with you. That is their humility. If a senior is mixing simply with you, that is their humility. But you have to associate in the respective manner. You should see who is my equals, who is junior than me, who is senior than me. We should know. Or who is senior to me if you are new to Krishna consciousness. So in this way, 3 levels of advancement, and accordingly associating with them. And next is associating with the top level of devotee, how to associate with them, how to look at him. That is how to associate with him. That is very specially, separately and specially mentioned. And while associating with him in that way, what we end up with is chanting, and how to develop taste in that chanting. And then where does it lead into? It will lead into attainment of Vrajabhumi. Method to attain. What is the method to attain Vrajabhumi? And then gradation in spiritual destinations. What are all the various destinations which are available? It's not that everybody back home, back to God, in spiritual world. Not like that. So there are gradations there. That clarity is given. And then gradation in spiritual practices, and method to attain Krishna Prema. This is the way. Okay, so starting with sense control and certain practices we do, and of course we progress. Of course we are going to develop taste in chanting, and we will be gifted for our sincere endeavor. It will be gifted. Only endeavor is tested. Nothing else is. Our ability, other processes talk about the ability of an individual, like Vedic yogic process. So we are sadhana. Here also people say sadhana siddha. They want to by their own capacity and practice. No, we should understand there is mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, who is seeing our endeavor. And second thing is the Antaranga Shakti, which is the internal energy of Krishna, which is very powerful. And that energy is the process itself. And the third is us. We have fallen into a very, 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 very deep dark well. And with our own personal endeavor, climbing up is impossible. We should know the helplessness, and that brings humility in us. That is original humility, understanding our incapability. A person who is too much following sadhana becomes proud and thinks that by his own ability he'll be climbed out of the material. So Prabhupada gives a beautiful example of an expert swimmer. So you may be an expert swimmer. You would have got a gold medal in Olympics. A person who has got gold medal in Olympics, he is considered an expert swimmer. Ask him to cross the Pacific Ocean. Prabhupada tells that. If there is a Pacific, take Indian Ocean, ask him to go from Mumbai to Dubai, swim across, impossible. Because the vastness of the material existence is so much, because she is a single external energy, marginal eko bahunan yog vidatati kaman. Internal energy is also a specific, powerful single personality, but marginal energies are millions and millions of living entities. We are minute, infinitesimal spirit sparks of the Supreme Lord. So our capacity is very, very, very quantity wise, we are very, very, very minute. And this, we should understand our inability to get out of the material and our inability to develop great spiritual strength. So, by the mercy of the seeing our sincere endeavor with that small spiritual spark, spiritual endeavor, the Andaranga Shakti's mercy and the Krishna's mercy will help one get out of this material existence, develop Krishna prema. Not by our own great sadhana. Where the sadhana, sadhya, all these things are mentioned for other transcendental yogic processes, where there is no mercy of Andaranga Shakti, neither the mercy of Krishna. The individual soul individually endeavors to either realize Paramatma or Brahman, and with their most of them fail. They don't see the result, and very rarely they see the result, and after that still the hankering is not gone. They understand Vasudeva Sarvamiti Sa Mahatma Sudurlabha. So Bahunam Janmanamante Jnanavan, he's a jnani. But what happens to many, many janmas after he attains perfection? He will understand, oh, Vasudeva is Supreme Personality of Godhead. But a devotee, in the first step, when he enters into devotion, Krishna consciousness, the first lesson taught is Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. The first step. For a jnani, it is the last step, is the realization. Where the jnanis and yogis conclude, where the devotee begins. So this is a speciality, a special quality of devotion, but the devotion doesn't have proudness. Whereas the other processes, because they are enduring with their own capacity, there is proudness in it. That is again another negativity for spiritual progress. Okay. Okay, this detail we will see when we go to each of these sections. But now I would like to give an overview of Preface, which we saw yesterday. Because it will be part of the YouTube as well as it will be part of the recording. Okay. So Nectar of Instruction, Preface, we saw. Many of you pointed out important aspect. So certain important aspects we have to take into consideration. Prabhupada starts, the Krishna conscious movement is conducted under the supervision of Srila Rupa Goswami. So you should understand that the two books, Nectar of Instruction and Nectar of Devotion, Srila Prabhupada translated, stands as the primary scripture for the Krishna conscious movement. Even though many people say that Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam and all that, but Prabhupada very clearly mentions here the Krishna conscious movement is conducted under the supervision of Srila Rupa Goswami. So the Rupa Goswami scriptures are very, very important to us, because another aspect where we can say, okay, that we are not undermining Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam. They are very great literatures written by Vyasadeva, but Vyasadeva wrote that 5,000 years ago, but they are transcendental in nature, so they are beyond time. But still, the complexity which they involve has been simplified by Lord Chaitanya, actually. So there are two things, person Bhagavatam and book Bhagavatam. The book Bhagavatam has 18,000 verses and given by Vyasadeva. That is immediately after the disappearance of Lord Krishna. The Srimad Bhagavatam is the one which kept all the devotees alive, the devotional service alive. And when Lord Chaitanya came, he claimed that to be the primary scripture of, Vedanta Sutra for the Gaudiya Vaishnavas. So it gives all the evidences about the devotional service. So when Rupa Goswami is writing each of the devotional service process as a science, a scientific process for progressing towards Krishna Prema, he quotes Bhagavatam profusely. Everywhere there is a quotation of Bhagavatam, proving that it is the Vedanta Sutra. But Lord Chaitanya is person Bhagavata. There is no higher devotee than Srimati Radharani. She is the internal potency personified. And that Srimati Radharani's mood is what Lord Chaitanya took, Krishna took and came as Lord Chaitanya. So whatever you want to learn, you're learning from the top authority. There is no higher authority than Lord Chaitanya, because the teachings come from directly Srimati Radharani's teachings of how we can progress. But if we directly look into Vraja, look into Radharani's pastimes or Gopi's pastimes, you'll end up as a Sahajiya. So we don't take lessons from Vraja pastimes. We take lessons from Lord Chaitanya's pastimes. Lord Chaitanya had a Brahminical village. They had association, they had kirtan, they had chanting. So this is the process Radharani is giving us. So we should understand very, very clearly. We relish the pastimes of Vrindavan. We relish it, but we don't imitate or follow or repeat. We don't do that. Oh, this is like Vrindavan, we have many cows like that. No. Goloka, the cows were all. What are the cows? Surabhi cows. Chintamani pragara satmashu kalpa vriksha. Laksha vrideshu surabir abhipalayantam. So surabir, laksha. So here, just they are also another, cows are also another, like demigods are there, they are more pious beings. Same way, there are cows also in this material world. They may be born out of karma, things like that. But there was Surabhi cow here, and from Surabhi cow came most of the cows, the Desi cows came from Surabhi. So in that way, they are descendants of Surabhis, descendant of a devotee. So they are respected very well. But we don't imitate the pastimes of Braja. We follow Lord Chaitanya and his associates. That is the way we practice Krishna consciousness. So we should understand Rupa, the 6 Goswamis. So you should, one more is there, that points I forgot. Okay. Anyway, the 6 Goswamis were direct disciples of Lord Chaitanya. That is another point which we felt very important. And a follower of Krishna conscious movement should become a perfect Goswami. See, controlling of senses was the first teaching. Now itself, the goal is set. What is the goal? Goswami. Go means senses. Swami means master. So we should become master of our senses. We should not let the senses carry us away. Rather, we should know an expert way of engaging the senses in an excellent way. It's a beautiful instrument. This body when people take sannyas, there is a mantra which they need to chant in order to recognize their sannyas. There is only one mantra, one sloka they need to chant. I use this body as a boat in order to cross this great ocean of material existence, catching hold of the lotus feet of the Lord as a boat which will cross me across. So like this, the body is dedicated to Lord Madhava, who acts as a boat in order to cross this ocean of material existence. So that is the verse they say while taking it. So Goswami. So this body has all the bodily parts can be nicely used in the service of Krishna. And if we nicely use them, then we are Goswamis. And we get carried away by them, then we are Godasas. We will see that in the first verse. So the what are all the senses which will actually disturb? There are many senses. Every sense doesn't disturb. There are certain senses only will create disturbance. Only those are addressed here. Not that all the senses, okay, how the nose, not like that. So of course we have to use, like Ambarish Maharaj, all the senses in the service of Krishna. But certain senses are not so very disturbing, and certain senses are especially disturbing, and they are addressed in this first verse. And then Vaishnavas are generally known as Goswamis, because Vaishnava lifestyle, the Vaishnava culture itself enables one to be a controller of the senses. So in Vrindavana, this is the title by which the director of the temple is known. One who wants to become a perfect devotee of Krishna must become Goswami. So we all should become Goswami. So this is the goal we are setting before reading the first verse. All of you kindly read the first verse and come. And in case if you have any difficulty in reading, somebody can read some paragraphs and put it in our group so that reading time can be saved, because in this Kartik month, I would like to finish this book. So if you can cooperate a little bit, and you can also read Srila Prabhupada's book. And if you have a browser, which is Edge browser, it has a read option. Read it loud. So you put it, read it loud, it will read. And there are some applications where you can copy and paste the text and it will read it loud. So even you can hear it like that. So, or anywhere if you can find an audio of reading of Nectar of instruction, maybe you can just hear it. So in whatever way, kindly go through it and come so that we can really nicely utilize this 1 hour in discussing a little more special things. Otherwise, the entire time goes in reading. We all read together. So the definition of Goswami, Go means the senses and Swami means the master. So unless one controls the senses and mind, one cannot become Goswami. So a follower of Krishna conscious movement should become a perfect Goswami. So this is Prabhupada's request to us, become a Goswami. So Vaishnavas are generally known as Goswami. So don't get scared seeing this word Goswami. And we see certain characters who call themselves as Goswami. Now we go into Vrindavan. So kindly don't take it as a definition. Like the Prabhupada gave definition of Brahmana, consciousness. So many words Prabhupada gave very nice definitions, which are original definitions. Same way, here we will see the original definition of Goswami and we will become that Goswami. In Vrindavana, this is the title by which the director of each temple is known. One who wants to become a... Oh, again, I am repeating the same. Okay, sorry. Okay. We'll end here. The text 1 says, a sober person who can tolerate the urge to speak, the mind's demands, the actions of anger, the urges of the tongue, urges of the belly, urges of the genitals, is qualified to make disciples all over the world. So you know that Srila Prabhupada told that all of you should become gurus. Recently, I saw that video also, very nice, that Srila Prabhupada is telling all of you should become guru. Becoming guru is nothing wonderful, it is nothing complex. You just need to repeat without interpretation, just repeat whatever I taught you. Multiply it. That's all is to be a guru. So to his disciples, he told that you have to make further disciples. So this Goswami, the definition of Goswami is very, very simple, very sweet. Already we are following most of it. And if we have to a little more be strict in following it. And the purport is going to be nectar for any practicing devotee will feel so much bliss that, okay, I have a hope, I can also become a Goswami. So if you want to get that hope by tomorrow, the same time, 8 o'clock, then read and come back. Thank you very much. Any questions or comments?
Hare
Fine.
Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, actually, you have mentioned, means, our bhakti process is different, that we don't generally depend on our sadhana. By our sadhana we can get. So can you, means, give, actually I didn't have clear understanding, because first you have said Krishna mercy and then Antarang Sakti mercy, and third one, means what you
Very
have
nice.
said.
Very nice. See, we don't see, we see only ourselves. That is what I condemn, that we see only ourselves, my endeavor, my endeavor, my endeavor. We should also see that in bhakti process, Krishna's mercy is also there because you're connecting with Krishna. You're chanting Krishna's name. What are you chanting? You're not chanting your own name. You're chanting Krishna's name. Krishna's name and himself are non-different. So there is a connection happening. Whether you feel it, you don't feel it, there is a connection happening. This connection is created by the Antaranga Shakti. By giving you, there is something called holy name. And Krishna is the name of the Supreme Personality of God, not some bittu, kittu, some name, right? So who gave you that name? How that name came into this world is through Antaranga Shakti's mercy. So these two are working also. The medicine you are eating. Oh, I ate medicine today, tomorrow, day after. I ate medicine for 3 days. Nothing is working. Medicine is working. The disease you got the cancer over period of 10 years. Gradually, first there was light cancer, little cancer, more cancer, more cancer, more. And here in somebody, not you, sorry, somebody is in a very, very dangerous stage of cancer. And now in 3 days or 4 days, nothing is working, nothing is working. Not like that. So the medicine will work. So the medicine involves, so you are taking the medicine is your duty. That you have to be sincere. But only by your own endeavor, your body is not developing. Your body is developing by the medicine which you have taken. The medicine also will work, right? Same way, there are three people involved. When you are practicing devotional service, who are all involved? Mostly the devotees. Sometimes I see, they think I am involved, Krishna is involved. I am chanting Krishna's name. So I am Krishna, Krishna, give me mercy. Like that. That's all. So they don't see another personality, which is Antaranga Shakti, who brought this process. For example, in Damodar month, we are showing lamp. So this intention to go there and take the lamp is ours, lit the lamp is ours. And we are showing this process of connecting a jiva to the Supreme Lord is given by Antaranga Shakti. So as soon as you endure this, her mercy is also there. So they both see that this. So the example, another example Srila Prabhupada gives is, sadhana is important. Is you are not, by sadhana, you are not achieving sadhya. You are not achieving by your own sadhana, I got it, I got Krishna. It is not possible. By the mercy of internal potency who gives a process called bhakti. Showing a lamp, chanting, all these things are given by internal energy. So Prabhupada gives another example, very nice. This is a real pastime. One time the ocean was there and there was a small sparrow. It was trying to go and take the water from the ocean and come and pour it outside, and went and took some more water with this mouth, a little mouth, and coming and pouring outside like that. So Garuda was flying on top and it saw, what is the small sparrow going and trying and taking some water from the ocean and coming pouring outside? So Garuda came down and asked, because he's Pakshi Raja. He's the king of all the birds. Then he asked, what are you doing? The bird, that small bird said, I'm trying to empty the ocean. Then Garuda said, you're trying to empty the ocean? Yes, I want to empty the ocean. So then the Garuda asked, why? Because I had, then the bird said, I laid my eggs in the ocean, shore, and the ocean waves took it away, took my eggs away. So I want to get my egg back. What can I do? I am a helpless mother. Then Garuda asked, do you know you cannot empty this ocean by your small? Yeah, I know. I know I am so small. The ocean is so vast. But I am doing my best. Then Garuda became very merciful. Then immediately ordered the ocean, because she is enduring a motherly endeavor is there. So return back the eggs, otherwise I will drink all your water. Garuda can drink all the water of the ocean. Then immediately the ocean got scared and it immediately returned back the eggs to the small bird. Same way, we are the small bird, the acharyas and the internal energy acharyas, all their mercy is there. We are trying to empty the ocean. We are trying to reach get our constitutional position back and get Krishna Prema first. Out of love for affection, want to do service for Krishna. Return back to our own original constitutional position. But this is a great thing. So it's too long we have lost it. Too much envy, too much we have done for Krishna, against him. What and all we did. Unlimited. Millions of lifetimes for getting Krishna. So with one lifetime, with 10 days standing, 1 month, 1 year, 10 year, 20 year. I am a senior devotee. How many years? I am 20 years standing, 40 years standing. How many lifetimes you forgot Krishna? How many lifetimes? It is not years, lifetimes. And what is your endeavor right now? You see the capacity, your capacity. How much sadhana you're practicing, how much you didn't practice, how many millions of lifetimes. So certainly it is something unattainable, but it can be attained with our endeavor plus Guru's mercy. Mainly Andaranga Shakti's mercy is coming through Guru, because Guru is involving in our regulated devotional service. Who is promoting chanting? You have to chant 16 rounds till death. Whom did you promise? You promised to Guru. Nobody else. Many people will come and give lecture, entertain you like monkey in the circus. In the circus, there are many monkeys dancing. They entertain and go away, right? But there's no relationship. But what about father and mother? They want to entertain the child and they are dancing a little bit. They want to nourish the child by giving food. So certainly there is difference between just an entertainment and a person who is taking responsibility. Certainly there is difference. It's not sometimes they say that all the Siksha Gurus, they are spiritual master who is initiating spiritual master, Diksha Guru, is taking responsibility and is taking a commitment from you for chanting 16 rounds throughout your life. Certainly his contribution is certainly different from any other great instructions you're getting from anybody. Certainly, because there is a commitment. And because of the chanting, you're able to understand other Siksha or whatever classes. You're able to understand because you're chanting every day 16 rounds. And who made you do that? If you're not committed, you won't do it. One day you'll do, one day you won't do, and then you will leave it after some time. You'll be so serious in doing at one particular point of time when you started. They say when a new girl get married and come, and the new daughter-in-law will be asked, just the roof is falling because of the rain. Just can you hold the roof with the stick? Then she will take the house and lift the house and like Govardhan. But that is newly when they come, they show over enthusiasm. Ati bhakti chore election. There's a proverb in Bengali. But as the time goes, the potency is getting lost and they lose taste, they don't chant properly, there's no taste. And all this comes from Acharya Parampara, initiating spiritual master, gives enthusiasm. There is a Gayatri mantra which says that all the enthusiasm for performing devotional service come from initiating spiritual master. So that is very important. So spiritual master's mercy. So the mercy coming from Krishna, spiritual master, great personalities like Garuda, then it is possible for a small bird to attain this. So we should humble ourselves. That is very important quality which we need to develop, is humble ourselves. Not with all other Prabhus and Mataji, I'm humble, but internally we don't value Guru, power of devotional service, power of Krishna's mercy. We don't beg for his mercy and all. And anybody we see in the road, Prabhu, give your mercy, Mataji, give your mercy, because we want to sustain somehow. We want to be chamcha of everybody so that we can get some favors. But the main people, Morai Abilash, Vilas kunchi diovas nayane heri bosada juglaru parasi nivedana daru. So whom you should ask? There's qualified personalities to whom you need to really ask for mercy. Sevadhikare diyo korani jadasi. So Vrinde Devi, Andaranga Shakti is one expansion. She can give mercy of Vaishnavas, such Vaishnavas. Such Vaishnavas as Acharyas, Vancha, Kalpatarubhischa, Kripasindubhyeva Chapatitanam, Pavanebhyo, Vaishnavebhyo, Namo Namaha. 64 Angas of Bhakti given by Rupa Goswami. These are all we are following. They are great, they're great Acharyas. They are like Garuda. Seeing our small endeavor, by their mercy, we can attain. The bird got the egg, yes. Did the bird empty certain portion of the ocean? Yes. But what percentage, don't ask. How much percentage of the ocean the bird opened? So you should really become humble. Every chanting, you should become humble. I'm incapable, but I'm trying. I'm incapable and cry, should cry. I know I cannot achieve by my power. But your mercy, it is possible. So it's a science. No, it's a science. So everything works. The Andaranga Shakti, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Ishvara, and the Tatastha Shakti. So we are cat on the wall. So by association with material, we fell there. By constant association with internal energy, we will fall into internal energy. Not fall, will uplift ourselves into internal energy. Got it?
So 3 points are Krishna Mercy, Antarang Sakti Mercy means devotee, other Vaishnavas, and third one, our intention or endeavor.
Yes, no intention endeavor. Already regulation, promise, everything is given. Just do. Even people say, you mechanically chant. What will you achieve? Because the chanting is powerful. So we will see. That is why this book is there. You want answers? All the beautiful answers are given directly by Rupa Goswami. And Srila Prabhupada says that this movement is conducted by Rupa Goswami. So you want to know how the Krishna conscious movement is conducted. This is the reference manual. We have not even started it. So when starting and going, you won't have questions. Rather, you will start giving answers to everybody. That is the power of this book. And we will see the process. Okay? We'll gradually progress. Tomorrow, we will talk about sense control. All of you read the first verse, or at least hear the first verse and come. So that we may go through certain aspects, but not full reading. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Let us offer our loving, respectful obeisances and to all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord who are like desire trees and they can fulfill our desires, spiritual desires, especially to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj who are kindly involving us in this process. Okay? Vancha kalpatarubhyascha Ananta Kodi Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Guru Maharaj Gaurav Premanande Hari Hari.
Hari Hari.